YouTube, this is my video of planning and aquarium setups. I've seen PC setups and I'm just trying to work at home for the moment, and I'm just collecting DIY things. So here are two aquariums I'm prepping to wash and rinse and dry these aquariums for use and to put into storage. Silicone usually dries in 2 weeks, 14 days, and this one's pretty dry. It feels like, you know, it's what the store would sell you. I found most of these aquariums and just fixed them up with epoxy at the chips, and just to protect it, you know, from further cracking or something like that. Need some on this other side because it's kind of like, you know, doesn't. But besides that, it's repaired, I guess. There's ways to make it like crackless and things, and I would have to like scrape it during the application process. I would have probably use a grinder or something softly on there. But the seals on this tank, the weak spots, I'm pretty happy with the repair. You're not supposed to really put silicone on silicone, and this time it might not clear up, but I can still see a few small bubbles. And I know on this side it's kind of the same thing. I was being lazy while re-siliconing this, but yeah, so I gotta either redo it or just try to patch it up first. First I'm gonna try to patch it up, and if something were to happen or something, you know, in a year or two, when I set this up, when I fill it up, I would have to seal, scrape off the seals, and then reseal it, and then it takes between 4 to 6 hours, 2 to 6 hours for just to reseal a tank, and that's after washing and rinsing it. So it takes a while. It's not a totally easy job. So I'm storing my tanks next to the sofa, and I have 3 here, a 20 long, a 20, it seems like a 15, but I found this one, and there's another one that's sitting in it. I should move this to over here since there's a newspaper. So that's moved. It's pretty leveled. Just sitting on a newspaper so the bottom doesn't scratch. These tanks are pretty good seals. And I can't wait to set them up and have a nice fish in there. If I were to keep it like this and be in a rush and all, I would, you know, move the rug a little more and put a light underneath here, and the light will keep it warm. It's indoor, so I wouldn't really need a heater at first, but if I need one, I could add one. So, you know, if I were to start breeding fish, I would probably use this and be able to keep some fish with the light. So it seems pretty decent. I might even build better enclosure with this. It's just underneath a foldable table. Luckily I found this, and it was really good. Still usable. The top seems a little flimsy, so I might put a piece of board on there if I put something else there. So here's the terrarium. I've got to finish resealing it. Just the top around the seal. It's a little bent some places, so I gotta, um, you know, I don't know how to heat plastic to bend plastic back. If I had a heat gun, I would try it, but I don't have a heat gun. So I've sealed this. The door area wasn't sealed because the seal wouldn't really work there, and I need to touch up some of this when it dries. But I basically sealed this in 4 hours. I even sealed underneath, and that kind of needs to be touched up. Huh. For some reason I think there's some up here, but I guess it's underneath. But yeah, it's underneath on 3 sides, and just this back part, these back panels, and then even up here, so it's really sealed up good. Initially I didn't want to scrape off the bottom part. This is beveled or something, but and then but during the sealing, the silicone wasn't sticking to the silicone that was there, so I had to scrape off the silicone, and then I that's what kind of made it a little bit longer, but it was worth it. I scraped it off the old one and put in the new one, and then underneath the door frame, the glass kind of goes up in there, and I silicone that because and then use a popsicle stick, and I got it pretty good. It could have been a bad job, but I kind of did an okay work. I got to scrape off some excess there, and over there, but that panel was a little tough because I didn't want to like get really messy. So, but that's what that is. And I had a silicone sides, so when this all clears up, it's gonna look decent. But this is typically the amateur repair, and the silicone's not super smooth like at the store, and so basically that's just how my job came out. I've got to probably do a lot more a lot more tanks to really figure out how to do this really nice silicone it. But that's the best I could get, you know. I didn't have to tape it and all, so that's kind of one thing I could try just to get it real good. And then, you know, just evening it out, I might have to you know, select some decent tools. So with this one, I just used a popsicle stick, and I didn't even use a penny. I just used my finger or something and the popsicle stick or something like that. And then I checked up with the popsicle stick for weak spots, like around on the back. I spent a lot of popsicle stick time around on the back. Can't really see the depth of it, but it was kind of a weak spot. And underneath, the trim was kind of hard, but you know, for what I was doing, it was worth you know, doing extra detail work and things just to get this fixed, you know, because there was no silicone, and you know, just getting the job might seem a little hard and technical and messy and complicated, but it's worth it. So here's some of my other planning stuff. These are just potters for made from 2 liters, and I just soldered some holes. And this is for like dirt. If I had a dirt plant that had roots, I could water these real nice, and they tend to enjoy these potters. And then this is for my aqua, this 50-gallon filters for a project. But basically these are underwater type of plants. And most of the stuff that this helmet, I found the helmet, and I cut a 2-liter bottle, and it kind of fitted nicely as a like a dust shield or a mask. It'll be nice if it folded up and everything, but I'm still it's a prototype. Looks decent of like a safety shield, but I've got to figure out how to fix the visor to have it move and you know have the helmet removable. And this is just my substrates. The sand is kind of dirtyish. It's just used old sand and that I got and from a sandbox, and then there's some rocks that I separated. I'm gonna try to get some more rocks, and you know, and then I could probably do a couple of escapes. So that's pretty neat. So I got this aquarium. I'm pretty sure I found it, but it used to be a reptile cage. It's got a thermometer, but it's probably broken. But this one just needed the top frames with silicone, so I just did that, and then I repaired some chips. There were a few chips on this side. But most of these tanks have been repaired for chips and re-siliconed, so they're in decent condition for what I'm going to try to use them as. This is another tank. The frame had fell or opened, or just, and anyways, I got to rub a bead around the bottom of the glass, and then I'm gonna squeeze some inside this frame, and then just put it on and do some cleanup. And it's sitting on top of my drying bin. So hopefully with some of these tips, a lot of the hobby should be pretty easy and fun, because you get to watch and have funny things to do. So yeah, so that's just most of my tanks. Still need some supplies, and while doing the tanks, you can kind of see the space that I'm dealing with. So I wanted to show you guys some of the mosquitoes. There's like a bunch in there. There's probably thousands of them, and I've only had them for like a week or two. But they're planning to hatch pretty soon, in a week or two, and I gotta make something to catch them. So I found this picture, the front acrylic piece to a picture frame, and I could lay this on top of buckets or make an enclosure with the 1x2s, and have a screen at the bottom, and they could crawl out of the screen and just hang out at the top. I really don't know what else but to keep them and feed the fish with them. So but because I don't want them to escape and all that, I was gonna just put a plastic tarp and just rope it, but that just seemed a little cruel, and they would probably die. So we'll see about that. Thanks. Leave a question, suggestion, or comment, and I'll try to see if I can reply to it. Bye.